Go. Hi guys. Okay, so let's go. Okay, right, so it is a bit chilly. So I've just done half an hour weightlifting. I only weightlift every other day. No rain.
I know it.
Probably gonna start raining now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it will.
So what was I thinking? It's cold but bright but cloudy, and you can just about see there the moon, the sun. The sun is trying to shine through the clouds. Is it weird? A lot of you are in America, so you're seeing. So I'm seeing the the moon from England. I keep saying the moon, the sun from England. Does it make any difference? Nah. It's still up there, isn't it, guys? Of course, I've got the dogs. Straight away, she's having a wee. They save their wees and poos for the walk. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to do 2 walks. We're going to do obviously both walks are 1.5 miles. And can I say, the first walk will be defending Elvis. Second walk will be about the carnivore diet. Elvis Presley found on keto. In case you don't know, guys, we have. Oops, sorry. Let me just hang on. Let me sort the dogs out. Princess is keen to do a business as soon as we get out. I don't mind. Right. So, okay. Right, we're back. Let me just quickly tell people we're live, actually, because I forgot to say it. Okay, sorry about that. I just quickly let people know. Okay, sorry about that. I just quickly let people know on Facebook. Don't forget, we've got my own Facebook, which is my name. And then we've got Facebook on Defending Elvis Presley's Facebook page, which also has a 24-hour chat. If you guys want to chat on there, please join the Facebook page, Defending Elvis Presley. I do like to have lots of posts on there. I think we've got like 3,500 members, which I think is great. So please join Defending Elvis Presley Facebook page and join the chat. Now, in case you don't know, we have 2 channels, Elvis channels. We have Defending Elvis Presley, which obviously we defend Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline every day, usually twice a day, if I can do it. And we have been doing a few song reactions on there. We've been reading Billy Stanley's book, The Faith of Elvis, because we have befriended Billy. Let me just get past a minute. It's a brilliant book. We've done 6 chapters. It is done from a point of view of Christianity, but it's a lovely Elvis book. It really does help defend Elvis. It helps us, the fans, see Elvis from the point of view of Christianity, but also the type of life, the way Elvis lived. Now, Billy Stanley grew up with Elvis for 17 years, so did his brothers, of course. I think Billy was 7 when he met Elvis. I think, if I get the ages right, I think Dave was 6 and Ricky was 4. So you can imagine they went from quite a tough period in their lives as children. I don't know all the details, but I know that it was difficult. And then they were suddenly, out of the blue, this whole new world emerged in front of their eyes, driving up through Gracelands and seeing Gracelands, of course. They literally couldn't believe what was happening. It all seemed like a dream. They're very welcomed into the house by the staff and the family and friends. And when they meet Elvis, who was playing pool at the time, Ooh, let me just sort the dog out. When they meet Elvis, he is extremely kind to them. Right, let's sort the dog out then. Okay. Right, okay guys. Just, it's not one of my favourites. I'm not lying to you guys, I can't stand it when we stop to do the dog stuff. It's not my favourite part of the day. I love walking the dogs. Don't like picking up their you know what. So this first 1.5 mile walk, and we are walking quite fast. Probably take half an hour. We're going to discuss Elvis related topics. Just have a chat while we're having a walk. As I just said, I've just done some weightlifting, I've just done a run, and now we're going to do 2 walks, 1.5 miles each. Anyway, so as I was saying, I have been watching as many Billy Stanley interviews as I can. I've also been watching some Dave Stanley interviews, and I'm going to be watching Ricky's interviews. I know there were mistakes in the past. I know it, guys. I know about the situation with the mum, which I completely disagree with. Please don't think for a second that I agree with anything that happened in the past, any mistakes. I don't blame Billy. Billy had nothing to do with it. Billy did try and stop his mum from doing what she did. So Billy, I don't think Billy should be hated for other people's mistakes. I really don't. I think Billy's a lovely man who is a very proud brother of Elvis, stepbrother, who is proud that he grew up with Elvis, who got to see the real Elvis, the true man, and probably as close as a look as you'll ever get discovering what Elvis was really like as a human being will be from Billy. I don't think anyone else really gets any closer than that is living. Billy Smith maybe, yeah, and Joe. But who else, guys? I don't trust what Priscilla says. I think most of what Priscilla says is twisted. I really do. Obviously, when she speaks well of him, then I'm fine. But as soon as it becomes a little bit, as soon as what she's saying becomes, to me, doesn't fit with my gut feeling on the kind of person that Elvis was, I definitely put up brick walls and start thinking, So I'm very careful about what Priscilla says. Now, I don't hate Priscilla, guys. I don't hate Priscilla. I do want Priscilla to apologise. I do want Priscilla to admit wrongdoing, because there's so much. I would love Priscilla to show remorse, admit her wrongdoing, admit her unfaithfulness, admit that the marriage broke up because of her as well, and just admit all the mistakes she's made towards Lisa Marie. You've heard it all before, it's a scratch record, guys. I keep saying it, but I have to say it every day, and we do want justice for Lisa Marie because of what Lisa Marie put in the book. 100% we do believe Lisa Marie, 100%. From here to the great unknown, her words on tape, the book was finished by Riley, I believe Lisa. All of the sexual abuse allegations with Michael Edwards, the actor, the model, the guy in Terminator, I do believe. Now, it's just allegations, it's just my opinion for entertainment purposes, but I do believe that what Lisa said, and Riley kept it in the book. Riley kept it in the book for a reason. She wanted the world to know. She wanted the authorities to know. She wanted friends and family to know. She wanted the fans to know, the world to know. Otherwise, she would have kept it out. Come on, guys. If Riley didn't want us to know, she would have kept it out. It's that simple. That simple. She kept it in there. Anyway, let me keep going. So, Billy meets Elvis. So does Rick, so does Dave. Elvis picks all 3 of them up. You can imagine they were all very small. Gives them a lovely cuddle. And then asks if he can put them to bed. And tuck them in and say a prayer with them. Elvis gets down on his knees and prays with those boys. A very humble start from a very humble man, Elvis Presley. Elvis was very, very pleased to meet these boys. He was thrilled to have brothers. He always wanted a brother, and now he's got 3. This is what he said. He took it very seriously. Now, when you read the book, of course the boys talk a lot about how they loved Elvis, they admired him, how he was a father figure, the best role model you could ever have. But a big part of the book, I think, is when they discuss the Christian man, his Christian beliefs. Now, the chapter we just read was all about Christmas at Graceland and how Elvis was. Now, Elvis loved giving gifts to everybody, as the world knows. Elvis enjoyed giving. Wasn't big on receiving, but sometimes if you got something that he really appreciated, he would love it. It depends what it was. So Elvis went out of his way to close down a store so that late at night they could go in there. Elvis would go and personally handpick all the gifts for everyone that he loved and cared for. And he really did like doing the shopping. He literally thought in his own mind exactly what each person would like. He would ask the opinion of whoever he was with, like the Stanley brothers, whilst they were shopping. He did keep it private so that the boys didn't know what they were getting. So he would shop separately from the boys. This is what I've been reading in chapter 6, yeah? And of course, Elvis had this thing where him and Priscilla loved decorating the tree, and they would throw the tinsel on and find it funny just to see how it landed. And Priscilla was there behind, trying to make it all neat and tidy, the tinsel on the tree. So they make it very clear that their Christmas memories of Elvis were beautiful. They loved their Christmas. I would say, when I'm reading the book, probably one of their favourite memories was Christmas with Elvis. Of course, Elvis always made a big deal of Christmas. He loved putting all the decorations up. He loved putting all the lights up. It was very important to do a big spread, so all of the staff would work overtime with loads and loads of different varieties of good southern cooking, loads of appetizers. Elvis made a big deal of Christmas dinner. It was a very special time to Elvis. Big smiles on his face when he was watching the kids open all the presents. He got more enjoyment out of seeing the look on their faces when they opened their gifts than receiving. I think we all know that. So could you imagine being those three boys and waking up in Graceland, bearing in mind, if you read the book, a very tough beginning, a very tough time. I don't know all the reasons why it was so tough. Who knows? Obviously, they hardly ever saw their father. I think this was a problem. I'm pretty sure their father was a military man and was away a lot. I think from what I'm reading, the marriage between Dee and the father was over way before it ever ended. It sounds to me like there wasn't really a marriage there. The fans have strong opinions about Vernon and Dee. I think it's well known that Elvis wasn't that keen on the relationship between Vernon and Dee, but for different reasons than people realise. I think Elvis, from what I can tell, felt it was just too soon. Now, what Elvis thought of Dee personally, I don't know. I think that would be a good question to ask Billy when I get chatting with Billy. I actually don't know. Now, Nancy, if you're watching this, hi Nancy. Nancy, how is your lovely little cat? I'm trying to remember the name of your cat. He's a little bit poorly, or she's poorly, he, she. What was the name of your cat, Nancy? I did know it. It'll come back to me. I'm sure your cat's going to get better. Now, Nancy has asked me to ask a few questions of Billy when I get chatting with Billy. Billy's very busy, so there is no rush, guys. There is no rush. I'm sure I'm going to have a brilliant chat with Billy. I look forward to it. Billy is, to me, is like the best defender of Elvis, like one of the best, yeah? So I'm looking forward to having a good chat. Now, what questions am I going to ask him? I'm not sure yet. I'm still doing my homework, guys. I'm still learning about Billy. So, Nancy asked me to ask, and I think it's a good question, how did Elvis and Vernon get on? How did Elvis and Vernon get on? Obviously, I hear lots of different stories that they would argue. Vernon was the guy who looked after the money, paid all the bills. Vernon was a much quieter man, a much stricter man, but he also was set in his ways, so he could be quite stubborn and strong-minded. So I do think Elvis and Vernon have their differences, but I've always thought there was a deep love between Elvis and Vernon, both ways. Of course, after Gladys passed, that became even deeper. And you can tell, come on, when Elvis passed, God rest his soul, Vernon was absolutely gutted and was never the same. You know, within a few years he had passed after Elvis's death. And come on, you lose your son, and remember, his only son. You're never gonna get over it. You're never gonna get used to it. You're never gonna properly move on from it, are you? It's like, it's the beginning of the end. I say that. Obviously, he had serious health issues. He had heart problems. Very sad, really. It's very sad that they both went through when they lost Gladys, when Elvis was doing his basic training. And it's like these poor men that literally grew up very poor in Tupelo, Mississippi, originally in the shotgun house. Hi, Angie. Originally in the shotgun house on, I'm trying to remember the name of the road now, Satilla Road, yeah? They did move. People don't really know it. They did move around Tupelo quite a lot. I read somewhere that they even came to Memphis for a while. This is when Elvis was a child, and went back to Tupelo. So I think, by the sounds of it, they moved 4 or 5 times for different reasons. Obviously, Vernon, there was a period where he was in prison. We know the story about the check fraud. And even that story is complicated. It's not straightforward. But he was able to get out of jail earlier than, I think he might have been given 3 years. He ended up doing 18 months. Does that sound right to you guys? Put me right if I'm wrong. It was to do with the sale of some piglets. Vernon and his friend, I can't remember the name of the person who also was prosecuted, decided they were unfairly paid for some piglets, I think, and they altered the check to the figure they thought was a much fairer figure, and Vernon goes to prison. Could you imagine how that devastated Gladys and Elvis? Because, you know, I know that Gladys was a hard-working lady, but then relying on her wages, relying on the help of poor little Elvis, poor little Jessie, yeah, stillborn. So that period in Mississippi Tupelo, when they're moving from house to house, I think for a short period they lived with their in-laws next door to the old Satilla house. I got a feeling, what I've read, Gladys wasn't keen on her in-laws, so they moved again. If you look it up, you can find quite a lot of information about the different homes they lived in. There's some quite good videos on YouTube that actually go to the different home sites, and the different churches, and the cinema, you know, the theatres, cinemas, that Elvis hung out in Mississippi, in Tupelo. I'm not sure if you've heard of Sam Bell. Hi, Deborah. Sam Bell obviously was good friends with Elvis in the Tupelo days, and they would sneak into the cinema, and there was like a segregation rope. So obviously they would have to sit separately, the blacks with the whites, which is so sad that the world was like that. But Elvis would just jump over the segregation rope or division and sit with Sam Bell. There's some very nice interviews with Sam. I saw one with Sam with Baz Luhrmann. Sam Bell just chatting about Elvis. It's lovely. Lovely. They had a right good time. Elvis loved his childhood in Tupelo. He loved it. When you I know that we sometimes think about Elvis, oh poor Elvis, he was so poor, he didn't have anything. Yes, he was very poor. Yeah, they're good, aren't they, Deborah? He was poor, but he still loved his life. A very generous child. I think I read that he used to give away his toys, his comics. I've seen that picture. I think the picture I've seen on the bike, there's a story there, guys. I'm pretty sure it's when he first moved to Memphis. Elvis has gone to the corner store I don't actually know why, on his bike. Do you know this story, Angie? There's a very famous picture of Elvis on his bike when he's around, I think he's around 13. If I get my facts wrong, guys, please tell me, because I don't know everything. I'm no expert. I get my facts wrong a lot. But we all know that picture. Elvis is at the corner store. I'm not sure what he was doing there. He's on his bike. This lady wanted her film developed. She still had a couple of pictures left. So she went outside the store and she saw a young Elvis. I'm not exactly sure of his age, but I think 12, 13. I think it's in Memphis. And says to this handsome young boy, do you mind me taking my last picture with you, of you, so that I can go in and develop my camera? Sorry, the dog's... Elvis says, yes, ma'am, you know, like all very friendly, a very polite, friendly boy that she never forgot. Now, she didn't know it was Elvis Presley, of course. So Elvis obligingly says, okay, ma'am. So she takes a picture of him, not knowing this was a historical picture. One of the very rare few pictures that were taken of Elvis at that age. And from what I heard with this story, she goes home, she puts the picture in a box, and then many years later, literally decades later, she's just going through her pictures. She sees that picture with this young boy that she took on his bike. And guess who it is? Elvis Presley. She realizes it's Elvis Presley. And as far as I know, she contacts Graceland and lets them have it, and it becomes part of their museum, a piece in their museum. Now, this is just a story that I've read somewhere. I've seen the picture. It's a lovely picture, a brilliant, amazing picture. And just such a beautiful story. That woman could never have known that she was taking a picture of Elvis. Wow, it's almost like it was meant to be. It's almost like, I can't even explain it, that Jesus, God wanted us to have that picture. Yeah, Deborah, it's one of the most fascinating stories I've heard of Elvis. One of my favorite as well. I've done a few videos on it. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but I do a lot. I have done about 3,000 shorts, all to do with Elvis's life. Because a lot of people think we're just defending Elvis. Yeah, but we aren't just defending Elvis. We also talk about Elvis's life and history. Come on. So anyway, so we've nearly done a mile and a half. When we finish here, guys, we're going to do another walk. We're gonna get on the Elvis Presley Fan Keto channel. Yeah, as I was saying about the shorts, a lot of people don't know this. Angie, do you know I've done about 3,000 shorts that were all about Elvis's life and who he met, who he mixed with, anything connected to Elvis. People like Tom Jones, Muhammad Ali, Neil Diamond, Frank Sinatra, Nancy Sinatra. There's so many. I covered every single topic you can think of, whether it's him growing up in the 50s, whether it's the army years. Actually, we don't do enough of the army years, do we? We need to do some more about the army years. Because I really love the army years. I think I'm going to do that as one of my topics on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, our other channel. So yeah, look up our shorts, Angie. You'll be surprised. Now, I warn you that when I made these shorts, I was not defending Elvis. So I was more just talking about the history of Elvis. So many of the shorts see Priscilla in a different way. You may be surprised. I have changed my opinions of Priscilla since making those shorts. So yeah, they're fun. I think, Deborah, isn't that how you discovered our channel? Through the shorts? I think it was. I love them. I love those shorts. And I'll probably start posting some of them on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, because I just think they're great. They took ages to make. Each short would take 3, 4, 5 hours to make. So it was a lot of hard work went into them. Yeah, I thought so, Deborah. So it hasn't rained yet, guys. Has not rained yet. Right, well, that was quite an easy walk. Well, remember, we have a pole that we walk up to, and that means we've done 1.5 miles. And then the second 1.5 miles, we're going to jump over to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Now, remember, Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Oh, don't worry, Angie. We're walking down the street, so if you lose a bit of signal and contact, it's not surprising. So you followed the shorts for a year. Wow. Well, those shorts were very, very popular. I had about 20,000 subscribers because of those shorts. Obviously, it's slowed down now. But we are, obviously, YouTube did tell us off for reading a certain book. So that you get like a 90-day punishment for doing that. So you will notice that once the 90-day period is over, which I think is on March the 13th, you will notice the views will pick back up again. Because what happens is, we basically read Sally Hoddle's book. She complained, the book Destined to Die Young. She complained that we read it, so we get told off. We get a 90-day punishment, and but there is an effect. When you get punished by YouTube, they stop sharing your videos. So all of a sudden, your views massively stop. Your subscribers suddenly almost come to a halt. So we've had to sort of put up with this for, unfortunately, for the last 6 weeks. Our channel has had a sort of like a lid on it, but it'll all come after March the 13th. It all comes back. It all comes back. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Debbie probably noticed it. We've had to be honest with you, I don't care. I'm not here for subscribers and views. Of course, I want subscribers. Of course, I want views, but that isn't my reason for defending Elvis. Yeah, I defend Elvis because I want to. Yeah, I defend Elvis because he needs defending because he can't defend himself. It's that simple. It's not because I want loads of money or subscribers or viewers, but please do subscribe. Please do subscribe, guys. We've still got we've got over 70 members. We've got over 70 members. Our membership is only $1, so it's very, very cheap. And so I'm happy with that, guys. 70 members, it's pretty good. Right, so we are approaching the pole. So, I think Sally Hoddle, my review of her book isn't very good, because I basically say that I don't agree with what she's saying. Because she has called the book Destined to Die Young. I don't think Elvis was destined to die young. I think, I do believe that he had many medical problems, very serious, chronic medical problems, even as a child. I do believe that. So I do think Elvis was going to become unwell when he got into his 30s. But did I think he was going to die of it? No, I don't. I think fame. Yeah, Deborah, I don't believe it, but she obviously didn't like what I said. So she put in a complaint to YouTube, and now we've had to put up with the punishment for 7 weeks, which is annoying. But this is my point, guys. I don't think Elvis would have died in his 40s if he had not been famous. I personally believe fame is what is one of the reasons that shortened Elvis's life. Not the only reason, come on, there were a lot of reasons. I do think Elvis was going to become unwell, I do think Elvis was chronically unwell, so he did need his prescribed medication. He needed a lot of medication. A desperately unwell man that needed help from his doctors and nurses and pharmacists. So yeah, he did definitely need his prescribed medication. But did I think he was going to die in his 40s? No, I don't. And this is why I don't like the title of that book. I actually think calling a book Destined to Die Young makes Elvis look bad. I really do. I'm completely against Sally Hoddle's views on Elvis anyway. A lot of the things Sally Hoddle says about Elvis I just don't agree with. A lot of the things she says about the fans I don't agree with. I also don't agree with her opinion that you can't die from a broken heart. I think that's ridiculous. Sally Hoddle actually says you can't die from a broken heart. It's a joke. Anyway, I'm going to end it now. We're at the pole, look. Yeah, so we've done 1.5 miles. Well, dogs are happy. We're going to do another 1.5 miles straight away. So I'll see you in 2 minutes. Please join me on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, our other channel. I'm going to go straight over. Hi, Denise. I'm going to go straight over now. Right, let me just get off.